morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the PAPAJO show. This is the PAPAJO show. Welcome. This is your host, PAPAJO. Really do appreciate you being here. Had a brain fart apparently there. Sorry about that. Try again. Welcome to the PAPAJO show. I am your host, PAPAJO. Anyways, I want to say, as always, thank you all for being here today for the live show. I do these live every day at 12:30 Eastern. So if you want to see it live, you want to jump in the chat, have a conversation, let's do it. By the way, do me a favor. If you are new here, at least say hey in the chat. If you're regular, love it when you guys all have a conversation, have fun in there. I'm going to use the chat as we started doing here recently as a Q&A towards the end. So if you have any questions you'd like me to address or take a look at, anything we're talking about today, or just in general, put it in the chat and we will address those towards the end of the video. So stick around and we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. So I really, really do appreciate those of you who are part of this. And for those of you who are new or do not know, I do a Patreon show at 4:30 Eastern every day. That is so that I can have I'll take the gloves off kind of conversation, talk about subjects that would get videos banned, dig into some of the stuff we do talk about out here as well. And then as I am able to, I will do early access type of interviews and whatnot on the Patreon. I was trying to do one yesterday and kind of ended up being here, let's try this. Nope, couldn't do it. So yeah, anyways, I digress. I really do appreciate you all being here. So thank you. Do me a favor, pop in the chat and tell me what you're drinking. I'm drinking I think this is a Guatemalan coffee. I love my coffee, and you guys and gals know that. Otherwise, let's jump right into the content, shall we? I'm kind of curious about this one. The price has jumped up significantly over the past couple of hours even. We had Bitcoin doing its thing and dropping and fun stuff. Well, it started to run, and I'm not entirely sure what's causing the run, but it is running. I'm wondering if it has to do with the Fed and their stupidity around what they're going to do with the interest rates. And I don't know. Makes you kind of wonder where it came from. Is it because MicroStrategy said that they have a margin call at 21,000, and they're not going to let it get there? That kind of stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of talk around how that kind of stuff is taking place and affecting the price of Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is what everyone kind of focuses on, but I like to focus on what's going on with the Dow, the S&P, and all that fun stuff. Those are spiking up as well. Makes you kind of wonder if it's being played with for the Fed information. I don't know when it's supposed to come out or not, but I don't really keep track of when they're going to launch their thing, but some people do. So gold had a run, and now looks like it's trying to maybe consolidate. And then silver kind of looks like it's doing similar. Divi is up and down as it typically is. You guys can tell I'm so technical with the charts. I just like to look at what's going on and try to find the sentiment of what's happening. Matic, as we were going to have some conversation around this here in just a minute. I brought up I'll tell you about it in a minute. And then Axie looks like it's having an interesting day. Looks like, yeah, the other day it spiked down. Yesterday it was down in 28, and it's just been up and down throughout this ballpark. That's a interesting wick up almost up to 31 there. Anyways, and then actually I'm following Shiba. I don't have very many of Shiba, but it's something to follow because of what they're building. Similarly, you guys and gals know about Divi. You need to pay attention to Divi. If you don't have Divi, not financial advice, but you might want to think about Divi. Yeah, anyways, let's jump into the Polygon information here, shall we? So Apecoin integrates with Polygon amid NFT mint backlash and speculation. Apecoin DAO board member Yatsu said that there is currently no discussion regarding an exclusive chain for Ape. And it's true. While I was in Miami, I met the majority of the Apecoin Yacht Club team, the DAO. I met the majority of them. Spent actually some time with the entire team. I was invited to meet with the NFT the movie people, and which they interviewed me. I forgot to tell you guys and gals that one. So if I'm in the movie, cool. Should be an interesting conversation. But I got to meet most of the DAO members that were there, at least. It was fantastic actually getting to spend time with them. One of the things I actually brought up, I was like, have you guys thought about partnering with or working with Polygon? And they're like, no, we hadn't. I was like, you guys and gals, I was like, y'all know that they were some of the first in the NFT space. And they're like, well, no, not really. I was like, yeah, back when I first got into it, when they first launched, I was like, go look at the app. And there was a tab in the app in their wallet, their actual wallet that they built, the Matic wallet, for NFT. I was like, what the heck is NFT? And then all of a sudden it started blowing up everywhere. So they were among the first. I don't know if they were the first, but they were among the first who did that. Well, Polygon's a layer 2 for Ethereum, so it makes things faster, simpler, etc. It is also a layer 1. So it's very interesting that they're partnering with it. After having the conversation and bringing it up, floating the idea, it was really, really cool to actually plant that seed kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. There was other people probably thinking about it, but anyhow, it's kind of fun to maybe think that I had maybe some sort of influence there, but that would have been fun. And anyhow, anyways, Apecoin announces integration with Ethereum sidechain. It's not a side chain, it's a layer 2 Polygon Matic, which is the ticker. After the recent Yuga Labs overdeeds non-fungible token minting incident led to speculation about the new chain for Ape. One of the world's largest Web3 ecosystems, Polygon, now supports Apecoin, making it available for 19,000 plus DApps, and games across the board. Good morning, Apecoin. Apecoin is now available for 19, and they did a little video. Go check out that tweet. It's very, very, very cool stuff. On Sunday, Yuga Labs, I'm saying it wrong, whatever. The creators of the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection opened the minting for Other Deeds NFT land. The drop gained overwhelming support in its community with an estimated $300 million in sales. That's big time money, people. Despite this, the drop encountered a list of issues such as pushing Ethereum gas fees to an unprecedented highs, which meant the users paid around 2 to 5 Ethereum for gas fees. What's Ethereum's price right now? 2 to 5 times $2,800. People were paying. Because of this, users who failed to mint NFTs but still pay the gas fees were outraged and expressed their frustration through Twitter. Some even tweeted that they were pulling out of their ape-related investments. While Yuga Labs promised to refund their gas, some users speculated that the failure was a planned marketing stunt. No, it wasn't. The guys in that group, the apes, no, not at all. Highlighting a problem, then announcing a new chain for Ape. However, an Apecoin decentralized autonomous organization, DAO, representative denies this. It's very true. Yatsu. Board member Yatsu, really cool guy, very, very, very nice person, clarified that this was not the case. While Yuga Labs encourages the DAO to think of migrating to a new chain, Sue noted that there was no discussion among the DAO's board members nor with other parties about the possibility of an ape chain. Despite the clarification, some are not convinced and are still unhappy with the results of the event. Twitter user MetaMan said that the facilitators of the event should simply admit that they messed up and it was a bad idea. Well, they did. Anyways, crazy stuff happening. Basically, they almost shut down the Ethereum blockchain by doing that. Ethereum isn't designed to do that kind of stuff. It was never set up to do that kind of stuff. However, Polygon is everything Ethereum is not and more, which is why I'm really, really wondering when people are going to start realizing that Polygon can eat Ethereum's lunch all day long, all year long, indefinitely. Polygon's ecosystem is legitimately a very, very unique setup. It was built by developers, specifically for developers, and in an ecosystem where NFTs are programmable or smart contract, or digital representation of physical value in the real world, like buying and selling a home. It makes a very, 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 very big deal when people start to realistically move over into Polygon. I've been saying this. Polygon is taking net new market share away from Ethereum. I want to say 60 plus percent of the new distributed applications or DApps are being built inside of the Polygon ecosystem and not on Ethereum. That's a big deal. Okay, net new ones are in that very, very, very net new, or very, very, very big deal. Okay, need to pay attention to this. Polygon's not a joke. When you have a layer 2 solution, that's fantastic. There's lots of them out there, but very few of those layer 2 solutions have a layer 1 as well. And that's beautiful. I absolutely love it. Moving along here, you guys can't realistically see this because I didn't blow it up. Joe Rogan says government's freaking out over Bitcoin's viability. Being pinged all over the place as a currency. Bitcoin begins to slowly recover after a difficult week for the majority of the cryptocurrency market. More public personalities coming out as strong supporters of the digital asset, including one controversial American podcaster. Those of you who do not know, Joe Rogan is a big proponent of Bitcoin. He says, I think of Bitcoin as the same way I think about the early internet. I think they didn't see it coming, and now it's a viable form of currency, and you can actually buy things with it. And I think the government is freaking out. I've been saying this. It's kind of cool that he's finally saying it. Realistically, people, when the world wakes up to Bitcoin's viability as a fungible transfer of value, as a store of value, as the ability to buy, sell, spend, etc. with it, and is in an individualistic way and not a government-controlled system, things are going to change drastically. When they come out, and like I talked about yesterday, I think it was in the Patreon. Go watch yesterday's Patreon show. It's rolling on the bottom of the screen. It's only $5 a month. Those of you who joined, it means the world to me. You are supporting me directly, and I do appreciate that. If you want to continue supporting, also real quick, check out Crypto Confidential. It's also scrolling on the bottom of the screen and linked in the description of the video. That is an investment worth making. The information, help, direct individual help, and the community that is built there is actually really worth that investment. The people that are behind that are a lot of my regulars. Y'all know them personally. So it's very, 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 very cool. Anyways, check it out. It does support me in this channel. So anyways, moving along here. the fact that he's also saying there is going to come a time where some government, whether it is the United States or another government, they're going to try to implement. I know they already do in China, but they're going to try to implement a digital currency, a centralized digital currency that they can control. CBDCs, anyone? I've been saying that on the show. That could be a real thing where they could literally limit what you spend your money on 1000%. They can control it, and then they will. These are CBDCs, okay? So to put it into perspective, when the CBDCs launch and they're already in the process of being built, you guys and gals know, my regulars, I've been talking about this on a regular. They will be able to see what you buy, see where you spend, and limit what you are able to do with that money. Oh, and by the way, the wallet that you'll be required to do it will track your every move wherever you go on your device, etc., etc. All right. So, no, people will not want to do that. The vast majority of people in this country do not want the government knowing what they're doing. They do not want their monetary aspects to be controlled. The moment everyone's going to jump in and like, yeah, this is great. We get 3 times the digital currency for each dollar that we have in our checking account or our savings account or our 401k, blah, 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 blah. Absolutely fantastic. Well, when they go to spend it and they go and they buy firearms, or they go and they buy ammo, or they go and they buy, I don't know, seeds to grow a garden, stuff like that, they might say, we don't want you to do that. We want you to not do that, and they'll block the transaction, or they'll limit the amount you can do. And then when people realize that they're limited because of what they want to do freely in their own mind and what they're going to do, they'll freak out. They'll stop using it. And then when they find out they can't transfer that digital currency into Bitcoin, they'll freak out even more. And they'll figure out ways to obtain Bitcoin and Litecoin. And then they'll start looking into things like Polygon and all these other platforms to go build businesses inside of that create an ecosystem to where they can actually buy, I don't know. Think about this. Think about how farmers in this country are starting to say, screw this system. We're going to go and do this locally. If you want to buy a cow, you want to buy a bucket of wheat, or you want to buy whatever, milk, something, vegetables, blah, 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 blah. They're going to go, what if they minted NFTs? Talking about virtual land inside of a metaverse. Well, what if it's real land inside of the real world, and that NFT represents your acre of land that is grown specifically for you with the vegetables and whatnot you want, and then you just pay the farmer to do all the work for you, and that NFT represents your ownership of it, and everything that it produces is yours. And if you can consume it all, fantastic. If you can't, you get to sell it either back to the farmer or to someone else who needs it. What about that scenario? That's pretty cool, in my opinion. But when people start realizing that they can do this, that the CBDCs just won't work, that's just what it is. Bitcoin's not private, by the way, people. It's semi-anonymous, but it's not private. Privacy coins like Monero and I think Pirate, and then I think there's a couple other Cloak. There's a few other ones. You also need to understand that they can track with some degree of certainty what's going on in those blockchains. Realistically speaking, here, that's just what they can do. Talked about it yesterday in the Patreon around with some stuff going on with the SEC. I'll go check that out. If you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. You really should. All right, so moving on here realistically for just a moment here, something that's about to take place, and this is something that we all need to keep a finger on, and that's why I talk about it just about every day on the show. Just something realistically we need to pay attention to, because it's an evolving thing, and it's change. In this specific change will fundamentally change and touch every single life in this country. Very, very unlikely that the Fed can tame inflation without sparking a recession. The former New York Fed chair or chief says. Okay, the Federal Reserve helped rescue the economy from the worst pandemic in a century. That task may prove easy compared to the Fed's next mission: crush inflation without causing a recession, which is not possible. Achieving a so-called soft landing will be challenging because the jobs market is on fire. It is so hot that the unemployment rate may need to rise to get inflation under control. In other words, they want people to lose their jobs to control inflation. The chances of pulling this off are very, very low because they have to push up unemployment rate. Bill Doubley, the former president of the New York Fed Bank, told CNN. History is not on the Fed's side. In the past, when you push up the unemployment rate, we've almost never been able to avoid a full-fledged recession, Doubley said. The problem the Fed faces is that they're just late. Technically, the Fed has the ability to catch up on inflation by raising interest rates rapidly. The U.S. Central Bank is widely expected to announce on Wednesday, so today, the first interest rate hike of 0.5 percentage point since the year 2000. Markets are bracing for the series of large rate hikes to cool off their worst inflation in 40 years. This is coming, and it's going to specifically affect everybody's daggum life. And I hate it. I hate it. They printed too much money, and they're blaming Ukraine, and they're blaming Russia, and they're blaming all this other crap. This has nothing to do with this. They just printed too much money. Or was it the former administration trying to kill the beasts, using the Fed as a weapon, if you will? It is very likely that the whole... Well, let's talk about this on the Patreon later today. We'll talk about inflation, the printing of the money, and how that money being used to kill the beast, if you will, as a weapon, and the scenarios that I feel like have taken place, things I've paid attention to, other stuff in the background happening, things like that. I'm going to make a note. We'll talk about that on the Patreon this afternoon. Hang on, let me make a note here for the Patreon. Inflation. We'll talk about that this afternoon. So, if you want to see that on Patreon, those of you who are there, thank you. Join it, and we'll discuss those things there. I feel like if I started talking about that out here, that the video would be pulled down, or worse, the channel would be removed. So, I want to be able to keep this open for everybody to be able to see the information that we talk about here and get it into as many people's hands, whatever you want to call it, as possible. So, join the Patreon. That's what it's for. It's a platform for me to go and say things and not care whether the video comes online, because I'll just put it back. I can't just put it back on an open channel like this. So anyways, so yeah, that's coming down the pipe. And then as I keep correlating, and a lot of people aren't paying attention to this piece, is that we are in a historically overvalued housing market. And these cities could be home prices drop or see home prices drop 10%, Moody's says. Those of you who don't know, during the last financial issue, the housing market that we had, Moody's was a big part of the problem. Moody's is a ratings agency, rating bonds, A, AAA, A, AA, AAA, B, double B, triple B, etc., 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 down to Ds. The higher the rating, so a AAA bond rating would mean that it is a very, very good investment. B, triple B, C, triple C, etc. And it goes like an inverted pyramid all the way down. Okay, that is how that works. The housing market, unfortunately, is a very big part of our economy. It is the bedrock of our economy. Now, it is unfortunately now a toy for the global elites to play with on a global scale, because they use that as the collateral or for the bonds. A bond is an IOU, and then you have the CDOs, or collateralized debt obligation, is what that means. I think that type of stuff needs to be removed. It never was. They just renamed it, repackaged it, and continued what they're doing. And now it's an even bigger mess. Now it's going to affect a lot more people. So the housing market slump looked all but assured 2 years ago. At the time, it made sense. The strict state-issued lockdowns and pushed the U.S. unemployment rate to its highest levels since the Great Depression era, which it kind of did, and a lot of people still haven't gotten those jobs back. Many states, Depression era, and many states had banned in-person home showings altogether. However, a housing bust didn't come to pass. So in other words, it was prolonged. Both Congress and the Federal Reserve stepped in an unprecedented economic aid, and after just 2 months of recession, the U.S. economy housing market flipped into high growth. That was also because of the former administration, or current administration, however you want to look at it. Again, Patreon discussion points. But the ongoing housing boom, which has seen some home prices climb 34% or more in the past 2 years. A lot more in some places. I think it's like Boise, Idaho is like 70%. Like, it's stupid high in some places. Could soon wind down. At least that's according to Mark Zander, chief economist Moody's analyst. The Federal Reserve has a dual mandate from Congress: maintain maximum unemployment. Excuse me. Maintain maximum employment and keep prices stable. Of course, with inflation as high as levels of 40 years, there's no doubt which of the Fed's mandates currently tops its priority list. The inflation-fighting Fed has big implications for U.S. housing market. Zander says already the Federal Reserve is putting upward pressure on mortgage rates as a way to rein in price growth in the housing market and the broader economy. Indeed, over the past 2 months, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate has spiked from 3.11% to 5.11%. Oh, the joys. Here we go, people. I'm telling you, this is the inflation indicator, is the housing market. It is. Whether people like it or not, it is. Unfortunately, that is the way it is. Oh, my goodness. All right. So we are coming down towards the end of the show here. If you would not mind, throw any questions, concerns, comments into the live chat. Let's have a conversation. And I'm going to run through and say hey to people. And I'm going to read through the chat and see if there's anything in there for sure. So, those of you who have stuck around this far and you gotten to the end of this thing here, the show, do me a favor, hit the likes. It allows, if you like the content, of course, it allows the algorithms to find other people who need or want to see this type of information. And the purpose of me doing these shows, realistically, is so that way my perspective on stuff, I try to take a 50,000-foot view at everything, and I'll dig into different pieces and get down to that 10,000, 5,000, or 100-foot on some things. The reason being is because no one really does that in the crypto space. They don't look at the whole thing and how it all correlates with each other. So that, I think, is valuable. Otherwise, I wouldn't be spending the time on it. And you guys and gals know how I feel about my time and whatnot with that. So anyways, let's jump in here to the chat and say what's going on to everybody. Kim, first on the list. Good morning, good afternoon. How are you? Appreciate you being here. Tom, you're on the phone with your daughter. Fantastic. Say hey. Good to, glad that you are here still nonetheless. Bitcoin Bull on the phone with Nina Juruk, whatever. I'm not even going to try, for saying voter fraud at the airport. Whoa, would you get in trouble? That's really, really crazy. I did almost say Patreon at the beginning of the show. Anyways. Yeah, fun stuff. Good morning, Cy. What's up? How are you? Appreciate you being here. Gloria, good morning. How are you? Appreciate you. Sam Storm, what is up, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for popping in. I love having you here, man. It's been a minute for sure. For sure. All right, Bitcoin Country, you as well. Good morning. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you being here. I love it. Thanks for jumping in. What's going on, Busy Mountain? How are you? Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you being here. Always have a good conversation with you guys and gals here. It is always fun. Let's see. Bitcoin Country, getting better every day. Stress levels. I signed retirement papers, and my last day of work will be 6/17. Fantastic! Congratulations, Bitcoin Country. I love it. Very glad you're able to actually get in here and do some retirement stuff. Love it. All right, so we got Trini Man. What's up, brother? You were on the phone and still doing your duties as official greeter. I love it. He is. Tom is fantastic. Let's see who else we got in here. Doop. No one net new. Yes, I love it when the government hates crypto. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Yes, sir. Precisely. I absolutely love it. Been busy working and playing music, so I haven't kept up with everything. Dude, you got to take care of yourself, man. Thanks for being here. For sure. What's up, Daddy-O? Appreciate you jumping in. I love it. Thanks for popping in. Oh, let's see here. What did I miss earlier? So Samsung is he working with XYO? I actually don't know what that is. I saw they interviewed someone from XYO and they haven't checked it out. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff. Nick and team have been working on a lot of stuff. So I will leave that one alone. All right, let's see here. Saw this one earlier. Fertilizer costs doubled from last year. So Daddy-O, interestingly enough, I have met a few people in the fertilizer and in the fuel industries, the oil industries. There's no shortage. They're just jacking the prices up. There's no shortage. Everyone's freaking out about fertilizer coming from Russia. Well, we don't really import a whole lot of our fertilizer. We make our fertilizer here in the US, and the products that are used to make that fertilizer are made for the US in the US. A lot of people don't know that, and they're telling you all these lies and stuff like that on there. They're just raising the prices. You're not wrong on it being doubled. It is frustrating. Very irritating. Every action is still recorded. You are correct. So I was having a conversation with some people about mobile devices. It doesn't matter. Being a technologist like I am, being in IT as long as I have been, it doesn't matter. Just like the whole Frankenseeds, the whole what's it called? What's the stupid company called that created the genetically modified seeds and Roundup, Bear, and anyways, that's all patented. Well, guess what happens when a plant pollinates with another plant that's not? It just spreads. And there's not a lot that happens. It's like wildfire. You can't exactly stop it. You can't isolate it. So all the poison in the water, all the unless you're up in the mountains and you're up above where the pollination down here happens, and you're up above where the poisoning of the water, although there's stuff going on in the skies and things like that, it doesn't really end up mattering at the end of the day. Same thing with phones and devices. You can get a clean phone, you can build your own operating system, but unless you build your own applications, you got to trust the people who built the applications. And there's still stuff in there. It's just the way it works, and it's absolutely frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. Oh, let's see here. Let's go. Forgive this here. I'm just rolling through here. Thanks, Busy Mountain. Appreciate it. And Matic is Polygon is you'll need to pay attention to Polygon. You really do need to pay attention to Polygon. Polygon is not a little one. A little one. Let's see here. By the way, PAPAJO, I think Ken Bozak stopped in on your show yesterday, but there was no live. If it really was him, it probably was. He and I have been chatting. I've been trying to get him to do a show. I'm gonna see if he wants to come in and do a show with us in the next couple of days, even if there is time, of course. So thanks for letting me know, Bitcoin Bull. Much appreciated. Okay, yeah, Monsanto. Thank you, Sam Storm and Busy Mountain. Yep, Monsanto. It is, yeah, not fun. Anyhow, so we are at the end of the show here. I do need to jump to a meeting, and I do appreciate each and every one of you. Consider joining the Patreon. It does help the channel out, but I go into stuff, and that's where we'll have early access interviews and things like that. And then also take a consideration into Crypto Confidential. The people behind that realistically know what they're doing. They're living that life of crypto only life, and they're having fun with it, and they know what they're doing. Anyways, check it out. Love it. You guys have a wonderful and blessed day. We'll see you at 4:30 Eastern, as long as nothing crazy happens. Bye-bye.